Hello, I'm Bloodied Porcelain, and I'll be playing Lady Eloise Beaufort.
Hello, I'm Bookkeeper, and I'll be playing Colonel Thomas Campbell.
Hello, I am Legacy, and I'll be playing Lady Catherine Beaufort.
Hello, I'm Overthinker, and I will be playing Mr. John Fielding.
And I'm Grizz, and I'll be your facilitator for the evening. How are we doing, players?
Alive.
Yep.
Excited.
Various degrees of giggly, because that's what we do around here. At our last episode, we have the lovely spring opening at the Beaufort Estate. It was eventful. We had a young man get knocked over by dogs. There was a few small scandals here and there, but it was technically a success. Not as many declarations as you might think, but it's very early on, and not everyone was able to make it. But the earliest, biggest event of the year is the annual flower ball, and this year is going to be run by the Bosley family. The good Baron Hugo Fosley and his wife Lillian Fosley. The actual ball itself is going to be held over in Foxford Cross, where we will find the Fosley estate. So, Foxford Cross is similar to Redwich in the rolling hills, but there are far more trees around here, just covering the land and far more shadow. The Fosley estate is widespread with several buildings, and it's a very, how do I phrase this? They were very fortunate to find just such fertile land, as they have several farms way off in the distance in the back. And the tall hedges cover the garden, and the actual ball itself is going to be seated outside this time. Usually it would be held inside a house, because spring's usually a bit colder than this, but it's been rather warm this year. So they thought it fortunate enough to have everything outside in their gardens. Flowers from all over adorn the furniture and hedges. The tables are full of teas and various foods, line the smaller areas of the garden if you want to sit down and have a conversation. And in the kind of main, almost a plaza, but it's just made this main wide open area that they've furnished out and made more accessible to the gentlery of their guests, is the technical dance floor, lined with seats around the outsides, and more food and various drinks, and a pavilion off to the upper left where the band will be playing. And that's how, that's the scene as, that's not how we're opening, but that is the flower ball. It is usually the main site for declarations of intent. And it's held at a different place every year. The Beaufort family hasn't run it in a few years, usually declining in, as their father might say, let someone else take the reins. We've done it for too long, and we don't want to hog the spotlight. But many wonder if that's true after so many years. And given everything I just said, we didn't get a chance to talk about it because I just wanted to lay this all out. And we didn't get a chance to do it in the last episode because we were just trying to figure everything out. Let's talk over a scene that we enter. So the four of you can just talk it out and decide at some point in the middle of this event, and this will be a partial event in that you can have your own scenes off to the side if you choose to, or it's just going to be the spotlight on everyone in this event.
So we can't just all turn the spotlights on Legacy and then sink into the background like we did last time?
Unfortunately, no. Also, wasn't it Legacy's idea?
No, it was not. It was not. It was Overthinker's idea.
Oh, fair.
Happy to help.
Brain suddenly foggy. It was interesting.
I think the first scene is John and Eloise arriving, or getting close to arriving, because John has been away on business, has come back, most of his cough recovered, There was probably a flurry of activity as we got our outfits set, coordinated, hopped in the carriage, and came over here. We haven't really had time to talk.
So the scene would open on your arrival, just letting you know.
Indeed.
Okay, so this would also take place during the event. So you would have arrived late. Is that okay with everybody else?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
So our carriage is pulling up and we're opening the door.
Well, I'm waiting for BP.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. That's the thing. It's like everyone has to be okay with it.
Yep.
Cool. So the scene would be the front gates of the Fawsley estate opening up for the older two of the Beaufort children pulling in with her intended. And that's what everyone at the ball sees. It might be a little bit late, but not everyone's always on time. And Foxford isn't the closest to Redwich, so it kind of makes sense. Not the greatest, but it'll be forgiven. They're just happy to have you here. But the scene is young.
Yeah. Lovely grounds. I must say the place looks rather nice this time of year.
Oh, indeed. Immaculate. Eloise looks visibly uncomfortable with the fact that they are showing up late and everybody is staring, but is doing her best to look gracious despite it.
I hope the evening shan't be too challenging. My last words with the young Master Fawsley were interesting. Do you know them well, the Fawsley family?
Well enough. In recent years, our family has thrown this particular event, but Father has wanted to allow others the pleasure a bit. But
Indeed. Yes.
Yes, most people who travel in my parents' circle know the Fawsleys. And their son.
Yes. Is he I don't know if is he well liked? Seems an amiable sort, but I can't say I related to him directly.
He is he's a man of stature in society. Which is
the damning of faint praise.
Yeah, if do you want me to give you a bit, or do you want to make it up yourself? Because I have something.
Oh no, we kind of talked a little bit about him last week. So she just kind of gives a little smile, just enough to be polite, but is clearly not heaping praise on the man.
He spoke quite openly and none too kindly of matters that pertain to the three of us present. More specifically, my dear, you and I. I wonder that I shouldn't engage him in conversation this evening. Perhaps he will recant his rudeness, perhaps he will not.
I would not press the matter, personally.
Truly?
Truly.
What advantage is there to be gained by letting such things fester? Better to
What
lance a boil?
advantage is there to be gained by pursuing it at a party?
Very well, I shall take your counsel. I shall leave the man be, as it were, and be myself only a gentleman. He smiles like that was a joke. Obvious.
She does not smile because she clearly has stated and thinks he is a gentleman. So she's just like, I don't understand what we're joking about. What?
And here we are.
Indeed.
I will help my fiancée and her sister.
Well, that's a good question. Catherine, would you have arrived by yourself or with anybody else before them?
More likely with her parents, if not with us.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I'd say that she is probably actually escorted by her aunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Her aunt and the dogs.
Pulling some strings here. But indeed, your aunt isn't exactly loaded with money. However, she was able to have a special carriage commissioned just big enough for her, somebody else, and all of her dogs, oddly enough. Bailey, Bonnie, Bess, Bryn, Blair, Bella, Brutus, Baron, Bernard, Bo, Bentley, Bootsy, and Zarius are all in the carriage with you, or arrived with you. And luckily, someone had the forethought to tell Baroness Lillian Fosley ahead of time that Caroline Beaufort would be showing up, and has a special area designated for the dogs out back so they can just run in the field.
It was absolutely Eloise who rode ahead.
Yeah, so actually, beautifully at that, seeing you arrive, you would see the Baroness Fosley. Like she was doing her best to welcome all the guests because, you know, they are incredibly, like, even if they definitely don't have to, she's just that kind of person. A bit shorter, really like lovely brown hair, hazel eyes, and just like this beaming smile. And just walks over and it's just like, oh my goodness, you're finally here. Thank you so much for letting me know, she says with like a slightly strained smile, but she does look genuinely happy that you're here.
Of course, I can only apologize for not having managed to dissuade her from her choices.
Honestly, they just make everything a bit more lively, and honestly, this year, like I looks around, everyone's being a little bit stale for me, so.
Oh, we can't have that. John Fielding, It is an honor and a pleasure, ma'am.
Oh, well, of course. Gives you a nod and like a wide smile. Oh, actually, that's right. I did hear about that. Congratulations to the both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're quite pleased.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't let me keep you. I mean, the ride over here is never pleasant, and we need to really fix those roads very soon. So please, join us. And she like takes Eloise by the arm and just like starts leading you into the ball.
Eloise has her smile on and is doing her best to be as gracious but still formal as possible.
Right. Yeah. He is a strapping young lad, isn't he? Though, like listen to your side.
He is a man of stature. Yes.
Oh, I could pat you on the hand. Don't use them too small. You don't have to use it. I understand, though. I do. Well, welcome to it. Please enjoy yourself. If you need anything, let me know. We do have more food for the dogs than they should need, but Sarius seems to be eating a pound every other hour.
That is the way of things with them, I'm afraid. My aunt has never been one who's been able to train them as far as moderation goes.
But she'll like nod to you again and then like look up and there's like another carriage arriving. Hopefully this is the last one. And she like not scurries, but as
Bustles.
as royally as possible, glides at high speed over there with like the smoothest walk you've ever seen. But as you enter the main area, there are people dancing. There are people talking off to the side. You hear voices in the garden as well. And with that in mind, Catherine, Colonel, where are you?
I think that Catherine stands at the entrance of the event. Her eyes. How long has it been since the last event? How much time has passed?
2.5 weeks, and the event's been going on now for about an hour and a half, maybe.
Okay. Catherine's eyes seem just ever so slightly drained of life. She looks not tired, but like she had to pay heavily for the events that took place at the last gathering. So almost as if the sensibilities were, for lack of a better term, kind of like pushed right into her and kind of driving a little bit more of that spirit out. She's appearing smaller.
And what does she wish to do, given all of that?
I think for the time being, she is just keeping close by to her aunt at the entrance, waiting for somebody to greet them.
Okay. So at that moment, because you're just like, I don't know how much longer I want to be here. This is the worst. The dogs are too far away, so I can't hide behind the dogs. What do I hide behind? I think kind of like coming out of the hedges, you see a very good friend of yours. Not a very built individual. I'd say scrawny is an apt word for Casper. But still like kind of like looking around as if he's hiding. Black hair, brown eyes, gives you kind of like a nervous smile and like a wave and like from behind the hedge and like.
When their eyes meet, she'll give him a very soft smile and just a very casual wave, before sneaking off, while it doesn't seem as though many eyes are on them, which is a good thing in her case. She'll sneak off to go give him a proper greeting.
Damn.
You look like you've been through it, haven't you? I'm so sorry I haven't been around.
It's okay. You are a very busy man. I understand that you've recently inherited a barony yourself.
I did. Hey, Legacy, do you have a last name for him? Okay.
That's a good question.
A barony, you say? Typing at high speed. Damn. Yes, I have.
That's wonderful. It's good to see you again, my friend.
Yes.
It isn't often that I get to be in good company that is actually pleasant.
Hate that, but I sure you don't want something to drink? You look ghastly.
Is it really that bad?
Yes. Stress is like, he wants to like touch you or support you in some way and like keep his hands away.
No,
Listen,
please don't touch me.
I'm not going to. You can't. I don't know what you're going through exactly. I can't say that I do, but the reason I'm hiding here in the hedges is because everyone seems to know about that, and they're all hunting me down. He looks out into the main area, and if you glance, you can actually kind of see some people looking around as if searching for someone. Some younger suitors who may be interested. But you can't let all of this get to your head. That's not who you are. You have to go show them who you are.
The last time I attempted to show anybody who I truly was, well, you heard. The last party was not good. And I can't disappoint anybody anymore.
Do you know what happens at those parties? Everyone remembers the biggest thing. Yes? The biggest thing.
Yes.
No matter what, you have to go make something here that's even bigger. It puts you in a positive light.
All right.
Everything that happened was everyone else's fault. You didn't do anything to deserve that. You didn't know the dogs were going to do that.
No, but they have distinct personalities, and you know how they can be.
Oh, I'm fully aware. Brutus always eats my shoes.
Oh, yes. And the little ringleader will just truck them all around wherever they want to go, and it's all very funny until it's not, and then people get hurt, and oh, poor Brutus.
And you need to play to your strength.
Yeah,
you are far stronger than this. I know you are.
You have a lot more faith in me than most people do. And I don't know if that makes you... I don't know if that makes you kind or a bit clumsy. Maybe both.
Well, I trip over my own shoes. I won't deny that.
Well, the dogs are here again if you want to go say hi. Auntie is quite a fan of bringing them everywhere. Despite recollections. Anyway, do I send them all looking the other way for you? Are you going to just hide in these bushes, or are you actually going to come out and potentially meet a suitor or somebody?
Well, are you going to come out of these bushes and potentially meet a suitor with me? That doesn't sound...
It doesn't, but... It's good to see you again, Jasper. You have no idea how much I've missed your company.
I've missed you too. But unfortunately, we're finally at the point where we have to wait to be happy around each other again.
I know.
But we can support each other from... Just like the 6 feet. We can support each other from here.
Wonderful. Well,
all right. I have a plan.
Okay.
Okay. You take the left. I'll take the right.
Wonderful.
Big smiles.
Big smiles.
That was for me.
That was for you.
Just gonna do what we can.
And fix your your ruffles are all out of fire. I'm not touching you.
You're not. No, you are directing the hands where they're supposed to go.
Yes, no, fix that, and you're okay. You're good. You look fine. You are fine.
So you can't help but wonder if the reason you became friends is as you're looking at him now, nervous as all heck, shaking like a leaf, if he doesn't remind you of one of your aunt's dogs, honestly.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
How do I look? It's like a little bit of nervous shaking. Okay. And he kind of just like, all right, I'm going to go around this way. You go out that way.
That way. Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, and go. Okay. And they split off in separate directions.
Absolutely. Colonel.
So, the Colonel was outside, sort of taking the air. He finds the interior stuffy, and he's waiting his turn to ask for a proper dance. But as he sees Catherine break off from Lady Caroline, he sees an opportunity and approaches the older aunt.
Yeah, she is, she's a little, near the entrance. It's all wide open and outside, but you can, see her. She's just, it's a little hot, fanning herself, sipping tea, enjoying the sights. I mean, she made it, so now she gets to take it all in. Kind of the air she's given right now. You do see her, idly chat with someone once in a while, but...
I will politely wait my turn, and then... Lady Caroline, how does the spring find you this evening?
It finds me quite comfortable, in fact. Perfect time to relax, while everyone else is on edge. And she kind of grins a little bit behind her fan as she's looking around, and oh yeah, there's plenty of hints that's oh, do I make the move? Do I not make the move? All these young kids running around.
Oh, I hear your second generation of children off playing in the yard yonder.
Oh, they can't help themselves the way they run around and run around and run around more. The Fosleys are just good people. She kind of gives a small smile, kind of, she has to smile about it because it's true. Despite everything, they are in fact good people, and when they heard about it, they immediately made room, so I can't complain.
Well, it's the strangest story I heard, and perhaps you could clarify something for me. Word had reached my ears that you were considering you may have to give them up.
Oh? He actually looks startled.
From the look on your face, I see that it is a little more than scurrilous gossip, and that is a balm to my heart, to be sure.
No, well, he looks relatively uncomfortable.
I was...
merely narrowing her eyes at the surroundings.
I was merely considering the possibility. As you know, I'm a bit of a sportsman myself, and I take a great interest in trying to care for animals, but I haven't had a lot of practice given my time abroad. So, if that had been true, I might have been interested in seeing to the care and feeding of the dogs, that they might still remain with their family, because I'm still a guest here in most of the country, and I'm pretty sure they're not quite ready for a trip to Argyle.
I would like to spend a token.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that good Thomas Campbell is about to overshare his feelings and affections towards the family.
Is that all right with you, Buck?
Yes, I have a way to work that in. I will ask you to be patient until I do, but yes.
For sure.
Okay. Mark that token, bud. All right. She kind of snaps her fan closed and sits back just a little bit, just studying you. Caroline Beaufort was married. It went very well, but that was some time ago, and hasn't seemed to need money since. She has a lot of connections, and she's very tied into pretty much everything going around this part of England, including things going on in London. So, if anything, she's, despite her big smile that she's wearing, she's kind of a scary woman, and she hears all of this, and she's looking at you, and she just, well, to stay with the family, you'd have to stay at Redwood. You'd have to stay at the family house.
Oh, I'd only come to visit the dogs. I wouldn't dare imagine to impose upon you without your deliberate invitation.
but they need constant caring for, the master of them around them at all times. You'd have to live with us.
Is that how that works? They're more like soldiers They're more like soldiers than I thought.
They follow on my every word, and hers.
Hers?
Gestures to where Catherine went.
I had never perceived Catherine as having the air of command, not the way her sister does, at any rate.
She may surprise you. Or not. Maybe you've seen more of her than you think.
Well, it is all idle anyway, based on fanciful talk from people with too much time on their hands. I apologize for the interruption. Is Lady Eloise about anywhere?
Yes, I just saw her head over towards the gardens with Baroness Lillian just a short while ago.
Ah, brilliant. In the event I don't come across her in the next hour or so, which I may not, I do tend to wander about a bit. If you'd ask her to save me a dance, I'd be much obliged.
Eloise? Very well.
And
yeah.
As he says this, realizing that's more forward than these people are used to, there is a rush that comes to his cheeks that he hides with a formal bow. He says, "Thank you so much."
Stand up straight shouldered. You don't need to bow to me.
I was raised in a very strict household. If I do not bow before mighty men and beautiful women, my great-grand will leap up out of the ground even now like a banshee and whip me about the head and face.
Just laugh. Very well. I appreciate it. And I'll pass that message on. Out of character, did you mean Eloise or Catherine?
I meant Eloise.
Okay, thank you. I was like, which one's more forward? I can't tell. Excellent. And she's just like, oh, before you go. And she reaches off to the side. And there's another cup behind the cup she's been drinking from. Have a sip.
Well, thank you again.
It's
To your
really
health.
fine.
To your health and the health of your family.
Really nice whiskey.
Want you?
Figured you enjoyed it. Enjoy the party.
And you as well, lady.
Yeah, she's just smiling at you just as you walk away. Just genuine joy playing behind her eyes.
Taking a sip and muttering to himself, "Good job, Tom. Well done."
Good job, man. Good job. Patting yourself on the back as you walk away. Good job, man. Very Jonathan Masters. All right. So, Eloise, Mr. Fielding.
Yes.
As the party goes on, what would you both like to do?
I think.
Oh, go ahead.
I believe in order to avoid a breach of propriety, we have to dance, like as soon as we can, at least once.
Okay, I guess we're dancing.
Purely in order to maintain appearances.
Are you saying this in or out of character? Because I don't care if it's out of character.
I'm assuming this was out of character, to verify that the scene was cool with me. No, I'm down for that. In that case, I guess my big question is, does John know how to dance?
He would not be called skilled in present circle, but he's not clumsy or awkward and can hold himself properly. You wouldn't ask him to do a complicated dance.
He's a little stiff, but he knows the steps.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Because I imagine Eloise has spent her whole life learning how to dance and how to be graceful and how to be a accomplished woman, as is often referenced in the book.
Mhm.
I'm sure that they make quite a pair on the dance floor with him being very stiff and her not.
So, there are... How many people are at this party? Like...
Probably a fair few if it's one of the big events of the season.
Yeah, I'm just like a round number, like 125 or something like that. So there's like 20 other pairs on this. It's a pretty like spacious dance floor, so there's like, a lot of room to maneuver. The music is slow. It's pleasant. It's springtime. It's a little peppy, a little bit, so people gotta add a little pep to their step. You know what? There is no rolling in this game, but I'm gonna roll for see how many bad dancers there actually are here.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. Oh, you better believe it. One thing while I do this. Boom. Okay. There are. So you're both dancing, and it's like he is a little stiff. Oh man, she's really good at this shit. And as you're going like, oh god, how's everyone else look? And you're like looking around. Even after many years of training for events like these, there are several younger individuals that they just don't got it down the way you think you would. So the end result is both of you look great. like you dance fine. Like it looked good. No one's gonna be like, oh hell yeah, and then clapping away. But they're like, well done. It's basically the assessment of your dance compared to like the 5 or 6 other couples that are just like missing steps. They don't know each other as well, maybe, or they don't know each other at all, and they're like stepping on each other's toes. It just doesn't go as well as you'd think. Everyone's picking off the ring rust.
It seems we're doing rather well by comparison.
Indeed. Helps to take some of the pressure off, doesn't it? And I'm imagining that they're having this conversation in like those brief moments during the dance where they're actually close enough to speak, because most dances back then you didn't actually touch your partner.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of like come together that separate and then come together that separate. So...
Yeah, and that's kind of where the fuck ups are happening, where it's like they come together and like, oh, no, don't do it. Oh, we're not going to. Oh shit, it's happening again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but granted, for the two of you, you are slightly older than most of the other people doing the dance at the same time. Just pointing it out. Yeah, just a little tiny bit. So no one's gonna like, well, they're older. That's not what's happening.
We're mid-20s. They're like late teens, early 20s.
Exactly. So you did good. Cool. The dance comes to a slow close. Everyone bows respectfully, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And go on their way, and the taking 10. No, the band doesn't say that. The band takes a small break for lunch because the sun's at its highest point. It's getting almost a little hot outside, so everyone's kind of retreating to the shadier parts of the garden. Not everyone, like maybe half the party.
Eloise will open her fan and use it to cool herself off just a bit, while also having the ability to kind of hide the fact that dancing at this hour in the sun, she's probably a little flushed.
Mm-hmm. Was there anything of note while I was away? Any interesting news?
News is not particularly. I think there might have been an announcement about Lady Faring I believe she is engaged and will be moving across the country soon. But nothing of great import. And she lived far enough away that I don't think you've ever met her anyway.
No rumor, no gossip that I might. I being out of town, I missed most of the new developments since the last event. I hope your good sister was not poorly spoken of after the events with the dogs and such.
As you start in on the topic of rumor and then bring up her sister, for just a moment, that kind of good-natured placidity that she usually has on her face with you fades, and there is a look at her eye that kind of suggests that this is not a topic you should be talking about with her, and that she does not approve of the fact that you've brought it up, especially not here. And she just goes she goes for very, very pointedly quiet. And there's that kind of like stony disapproval for just a moment. And then it fades. It is replaced by that placidity. And she sort of looks back out over the assemblage.
And you do see someone you have not seen in many a moon.
Huh?
Daniel.
And just like that, her whole demeanor changes, and her face is just like genuinely happy. And it's like it's almost like you can watch the weight come off of her shoulders.
And OT, you would see kind of going around the actual main dance floor. A taller gentleman, actually almost about as tall as the Colonel, honestly. Slightly longer hair. He full beard because this is not what he's interested in. Well tailored, but not nearly as well as everybody else. Kind of built for his size. But just comes over, really big smile, and he's like, Eloise, I'm so sorry I'm late. Like,
Daniel, you are ever fashionable, as always, in your timing. Daniel, may I introduce Mr. John Fielding?
John, pleasure to finally meet you.
A pleasure. A man fashionable in his timing could surely not be unfashionable in other areas. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Thank you. It is nice to finally meet you. I'm actually wearing one of your items. And you do actually recognize the suit that he's wearing.
Daniel is single-handedly responsible for my grasp of the French language.
Why would you do that to me? Why would you do that?
Oh,
he doesn't have to speak French.
Yeah, no.
Parlez-vous français, monsieur?
Sure.
Sure.
You set him up, I'll knock him down.
Holy hell. Could have been anything.
Well, a truly accomplished lady speaks I think it was at least 5 languages, according to the book. So.
Yeah. But he responds in French. Goddamn. But no, I've been meaning to come back to Redwich for so long. I've been in many places around Europe, and it's been an absolutely wonderful trip, but I am so excited to be home. And the Fosleys don't disappoint, as usual, when they choose to actually do something. It's like looking around.
Indeed, it is beautiful, isn't it? Although I question the question what a good idea it was to hold everything outside.
Well,
Simply, we must all cast our gaze towards the heavens and pray that no rain comes in England in the spring.
well, I don't know about rain, but that cloud cover looks lovely right now. And you do see like a cloud start to cover part of the sun. See, as I always said, just look to the heavens, say a little prayer, and then help will arrive.
Let's hope it stays at help and not a deluge, yes?
Oh, it's
Quite agreed, dear. One
It's
does
you.
tempt the fates in such a situation. Sort of asking for trouble. Don't you think, sir?
I would like, if
Suppose.
permissible,
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like, if permissible, to spend one of Edith's resolve tokens to introduce her into this scene, because she is the precocious and bothersome younger teen. And just to keep things interesting, I would like to give her a last name of Edith Fosley.
Oh no!
That actually helps me more than you may think.
Oh
Bookkeeper.
no!
Fantastic.
So, BP, can you give Daniel a last name?
Thompson.
Got it.
As a
Oh no! Wait! We have a Thomas, don't we? Shoot!
We have a Catherine and a Caroline, all right? It's already hard for me. Let's just keep going.
As a
What do you
precocious,
mean?
a precocious and chirpy voice from behind everyone goes, "Oh, it never rains here before dinner time. It inevitably ruins my after dinner walks."
We'll turn and give Edith a genuine smile. Young Miss Edith, has
Eyebrows
been some
rise.
time.
Book, I'm actually gonna send you a note real quick because you
Okay.
didn't steal my thunder, but I had an idea for this.
Oh.
No, you're good. No, you're good. Just if you're doing Fosley, I'm just gonna send you this. Here we go.
Perfect.
Thank you. Daniel turns around. Miss Fosley. Well, you're looking better than you were last year.
I'm feeling much better. Thank you, sir. She gives a little curtsy. I'm ever so fond of my new dress, she says, flouncing it around and looking directly at everyone's name is gone, and looking directly at John.
Is it one of mine?
It is.
I am eternally pleased to hear it. Anyone who feels better in one of my garments is a mark upon me that shall carry me to heaven one day. Truly, you look fantastic.
Mother says the stitching is the work of the Lord, for as resistant to tears as it has been.
Well, I shall not make such a claim for fear of blasphemy, but I take the compliment in the best intention. And he's smiling, just beaming.
Well, it suits you. Matches your eyes.
I can say the same for you, Lady Eloise. That is a lovely dress, and so well coordinated with Mr. Fielding's.
Eloise smiles serenely.
Indeed.
Yes, I think it was a good choice. And she'll look over at John.
My delightful fiancée never lets these things go past her. She is as diligent and dedicated as she is smart and beautiful.
Not like that ridiculous colonel who insists on wearing his tartan pattern everywhere he goes, no matter how many different times he changes clothes in a day.
Oddly enough, that would be the time you, Colonel, from across the floor, actually do see Eloise as the band takes its place.
Eloise sort of like lifts her eyes to look for the colonel, and follows Edith's eyes, and probably like makes eye contact with the colonel at the same time, entirely by accident, but in the most cinematic moment possible.
Y'all wanted chaos. So the band does start to begin to like a little bit of music to get everyone kind of back to the floor. And you, good colonel, do see your opportunity. As a little bit off to the, I don't know, imagine a giant square. You're on the far right and they're on the far left. You see Auntie at like the southern part of the whole thing, just fanning herself, smiling at you, like you wanted it. And
as the colonel begins to attempt to weave his way across as though he were navigating a battlefield, Edith just shakes her head and goes, "Really, you would think he would have more time to gather proper clothes, especially being down here in representation of his brother, who I understand is taken ill. Oh well, goodbye."
Goodbye?
Taken ill? What? Then, well, the small thunderstorm in itself. I hope you're satisfied.
Edith Fosley is nothing if not a force of nature.
Indeed. Gone as swiftly as she's arrived, and leaving a heavy feel upon the ground.
About a half minute later, you see a woman that looks like she might be a governess move through the space, hunting like a shark for something she cannot find.
Mm.
Oh. Excuse me, Eloise. I know the governess. I'll point her in the right direction. Excuse me both. Very nice to meet you, Mr. Fielding.
Mm-hmm.
It's lovely to see you again.
Bows, takes off the hat, puts it back on, and strides away. And you do see like an older governess, unfortunately. Like, she really shouldn't be running around in this heat looking, and Daniel like stops, speaks to her in French, and invites her to where Edith is. French, can't believe you.
You're welcome.
So rude. Yeah.
The colonel finally makes his way across the field of battle. He will give a slight bow and offer his hand. Lady Eloise, would you favor me with a dance?
Colonel Campbell, yes, of course. Then she'll kind of look back at John and like bob him, a polite little curtsy, to acknowledge him so that she's not just walking away, without a word.
Yeah, John's body language is to step so that he is, cornered to the two of them, and sort of gesture with his arm that she proceed.
And she will.
So, real quick. To those of you who haven't spent resolve tokens, remember that you can spend resolve tokens whenever you wish.
Yep, I just haven't needed mine because you keep doing all the things I think about doing, so...
Oh yeah, the small child that he took the name from? Yeah, that's fine. I planned that.
I will slide my hand into the good colonel's. I would, however, as this is happening, like to spend one of Isabel's resolve tokens, and have her approach John, and just take advantage of Eloise's absence, which doesn't have to get acted on right this second, but at some point, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I will slide my hand into Colonel Campbell's and allow him to lead me onto the dance floor.
As it turns out, the Colonel is more proficient at dancing than you might initially presume.
Pleasant surprise on Eloise's face, because she was not prepared for... Well, she wasn't really prepared for a Scotsman, let alone a dancing Scotsman. But it is nice. Are you enjoying the ball, Colonel.
He almost breaks into a smile for a moment and says, "At this moment, without a doubt, my lady."
There is the faintest hint of a blush on her cheeks. She catches the smile, and like the next time they come together, be careful, Colonel. People might start to think you're having fun. At a party? What a scandal.
Nonsense. Scotsmen are genetically predisposed to be grumpy at all times.
That is the rumor I've heard. And she is smiling, amused.
Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm good.
So where would you be right about?
I think at this point, Catherine now, after getting a mild pep talk from her friend, would actually, as the next dance starts, make her way down to the to where all of the dancing is.
Okay. Well, yeah. And what are you thinking?
I think that the moment that she gets down there and sees that her sister is dancing with the Colonel, she is just going to stop and watch. And remain stone-faced the entire time. Until Eloise is able to do a turn that makes them briefly make eye contact with one another. And then at that point, she's going to just give one of those, like, very forced smiles.
Point of order.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to spend my monologue token. Lady Catherine,
Oh, jeez.
what is going through your mind as you stone-facedly stare at your sister?
I just want to point it out that he beat me to it by 1 second. 1 second. I was literally in the process.
Gotta be quick on the draw with those tokens. Remember to spend them. Remember. Go ahead,
Oh,
Legacy.
boy. Oh, dear God. All right. If all of the people, my own sister, I understand why. I do. She is more gracious than I ever will be. More understanding of these social cues. She had better training than I had. She is more prepared for this life. But I often wonder why she stays with somebody who doesn't make her happy. There are many people in this world who would kill to stand by her side. Those who would go to war for someone so gracious and kind. I wish, for once, I could be like her. I push and push. And yet, no matter what I do, I am not her. I often wonder, if our family looks at me in disappointment. Because they look at her with such pride in their eyes, and it hurts on a level that I don't think anybody will ever understand. She is a sunrise on a warm summer's day, and I am the shadow. Whenever they look at her, they see the makings of a true lady, and they look at me as a child. I don't want to be here right now. I think that it's time for me to step to the side and rethink many things. But Eloise, do not fly close to that sun. You've already had the life that I wish I could have with our parents and with our brother. And though you don't know, I've made sacrifices for your happiness too. Please stop. End monologue.
Well said. And at that, we have John watching, Catherine watching. The two of you are dancing. John. What's going through your head?
First, I'd like permission to kind of clock that Lady Eloise is not happy about this.
Catherine, Eloise is dancing.
Right, yes. I remember whose name is which.
Wow, forgot the name
I
of your
remember who
own.
I'm marrying, I swear.
Forgot the name of your own fiance and her sister.
Oh, what's in a name?
Somebody's identity is all, you know.
Well, you clock it.
I would like, as this is happening,
I'm actually going to let... I'm
Oh, go
going to
ahead,
wait
go
on
ahead.
that. Yeah.
absolutely,
I want,
absolutely.
over the
Okay.
chance to do something.
Yeah, I think John is gonna... Trying to decide. I think John's gonna go talk to Catherine.
Mhm.
Or try to, if nothing comes into his way.
Yeah, you see.
Alright.
Mr. Fielding, what do I owe the pleasure?
I saw you and you seemed rather distraught. Are you all right, Lady Catherine?
Oh, I am perfectly fine. My apologies if I seem if I seem distraught, these parties tend to drag on.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Are you doing quite all right, Mr. Fielding?
At this moment, I haven't the slightest reason to complain.
Is that so?
And certainly.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Have you had... Are your friends here? Forgive me,
The dogs are down there, running around. So yes, they are here.
Right. Very well. Surely. And he adopts a sort of... He, turns to the rest of the room. Surely there must be someone here you would see fit to dance with. Or have you been turning down suitors all night?
I have not been asked, and it would be very impolite for me to, It would be very impolite for me to make a scene or, not wait for somebody's hand.
Well then, if you will permit me, would you like to dance?
I would be honored. I feel as though you and I haven't had many opportunities to speak, and we are all very excited for your betrothal to my dear sister.
Indeed. It shall be a good event for all, I should think. Come, let us enjoy ourselves. I offer a hand,
and she will take it.
And the dance goes on. This round it is slightly more obvious that Mr. Fielding isn't that good. But it's just because the older people finally want a chance to dance after all the young ones are fucking it up. But no,
I do think he's a little bit looser this time, partially because he's not trying super hard to impress Eloise. I think he can have a little more fun with Catherine.
That seems like a token opportunity, but that's just me. Anyway.
Ask and ye shall receive.
I would like to spend a resolve token.
Okay.
Something is going to go very, very wrong during the adults only dance. And partners are going to get mixed up.
You got it. All right. So I said most of the adults are pretty good, right? That's just how it be.
I would like to also spend a resolve token to further muck up this cluster that is about to happen. I would like the person mixing up the partners to be one Sir Dick Bosley. Inserting himself into the dance where he does not belong and cutting off one of the couples. I will leave it up to you who it is.
Yeah, I have a pretty good idea. Now, great. I don't know how this would work because I don't know how the society works that well.
Pairs dancing up and down in a line, and he just jumps in.
It's typically lines and then.
You said further mucking it up, so I got to think about that too. Something has to happen after this. Okay, so as the line's moving, Mr. Fielding, you haven't seen Bosley until just now. You kept an eye out, but the party's been going on for a bit, and it's like he's been fucking a ghost this entire damn time, right? It's not until a particular step back and like a twist that you actually like look up the line and see him kind of just like slide his way in, smooth as can be, the same smile as usual, and catches a young woman off guard, but she seems to recognize him immediately and starts smiling, and they start dancing as well. And you do notice, even while he's smiling and quietly conversing with that person, he does have his eyes on Eloise, and then Catherine, and then Eloise, and then Catherine, which would make you slightly misstep, at least just a little bit, because you're looking back and forth trying to figure out what he's aiming for. And that doesn't do anything to the dance necessarily. It just makes you kind of like slide off the next partner, even slightly accidentally. And the whole line kind of just takes a 1-2 step to the next person over. And Colonel Eloise, you quickly find yourselves with new dancing partners. And Eloise, you're dancing with Mr. Holloway.
Awesome.
And Legacy. You, Catherine, you didn't notice him because you think he was trying to appear smaller than he actually is. But he's pretty tall. He isn't that tall. He's a pretty noticeable guy. One Mr. Neil Graham, who you were introduced to last event, and your dog suddenly attacked.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Can I spend another resolve token to put Colonel Thomas and Mr. Fielding together?
Not quite. Not quite.
Just gonna point out, I still have an Isabel token floating in the ether somewhere.
Yeah, you do, and I'm trying to resolve that while resolving these at the same time because I have 3 of them. Which is the only reason I'm saying hold that thought. Hasn't quite resolved yet. But given that, let's see. Yeah, I think the Colonel would just.
So I have a thought where I would spend a resolve token where, because of the shift and because of Mr. Fielding's misstep, Colonel and John suddenly find themselves at the end of the dance line, just past the dance line in the crowd, and suddenly they're just, neither of them are in the dance anymore.
Okay. All right. So, is that okay with you, Legacy? Because you haven't actually spent the token yet. Yeah, because I want to reserve the one you just spent, resolve the one you just spent before you spend another one. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And is that okay with you, Overthinker? Because that token's being spent on your end. Okay. Cool. Going back to the dance floor. It's okay, crowd. It's okay, everybody. We got this covered. It's all right. So, we'll go with Catherine first. You are dancing with Mr. Neil Graham, who still has a slight bandage on his forehead. Oh! As you like separate and come back together again. Lady Beaufort, it's a pleasure to. You have to separate again and go back in. It's a pleasure to see you again.
It's a pleasure to see you. Step back and step forward again as well. Sorry.
No, it's fine. And step back again. It's like the worst reintroduction of all time. He goes, yeah, it's a. Can we talk more after this is done? And
absolutely.
At the absolute glow. I think we're switching again. Talk to you in a minute.
Nice to see you.
Right. While that's happening, you're dancing with Fosley, Eloise, and he's like, Eloise, pleasure to see you.
Lord Fosley, it has been some time.
Absolutely. You look wonderful.
Thank you. You look quite dashing.
Can't help it. I couldn't. You have to look good for your own family's event, you know.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. You got kind of muffled.
Sorry. You have to look good for your own family's event, you know. I mean, you looked absolutely amazing at the opening.
Thank you.
Yes. How have you been? I haven't spoken to you in so long. We used to run around this whole garden like with idiots when we were children, but now...
It has been a busy time. I am preparing for my wedding, and seeing to all of that has kept me quite busy.
Well, if you need any aid in that, I'm more than willing to help.
I appreciate the offer. She's giving him a look like, what sort of help could you possibly give me without actually saying it?
Yeah. No. Forgive my words. If you want a specific halo or something like that, or like any small thing you might need.
Well, my understanding is that you met my fiancé, who is last during the event at my family home. He's quite the accomplished tailor.
Oh, I was just giving an example. There are many things you need at a wedding. But forgive me, I misspoke. I just also wish to help you if you need it.
I appreciate your kindness, sir.
He clocks the kind of cold turn, nods. All right, well, have a pleasant rest of your day. And the dance ends and you both bow.
She will curtsy.
Mm-hmm.
And then as she's standing back up, she's immediately looking for somebody to latch onto that isn't him. She's just like, there's got to be somebody I know in this crowd.
I'm going to spend a resolve token.
We're waiting for...
Oh, yeah. There's more in play, aren't there?
Yeah. Resolve right. The two of you getting kicked out. And also somebody else's. So both of you and the Colonel both like get unceremoniously kind of like pushed out of the dance, and you're both like standing there like, oh, it isn't supposed to work like that. What powers of fate drove us to here?
John?
Colonel, I believe we've just been evicted from the dance.
Well, you are a Mr. and I'm a Scot. Should think of it as a metaphor of some sort, I suppose.
Rude.
One I do not plan to take lying down.
Oh, want to storm the dance line now? I'm with you if you do.
Let us receive a drink first. I'm happy to see you here. How have you been?
Keeping well. Bouncing from house to house like a vagrant.
Forgive me, do you not have apartments of your own?
Not in England.
My friend, you have surely done me a disservice. You are welcome to stay at mine any time.
I am grateful for the invitation, but it turns out if you're friends with His Grace the Duke of Wellington, the invitations come fast and thick.
Friends of superior station, then. So be it. I take no offense. I'm glad that you find the country more welcoming than it seems it could have been.
Well, it certainly smells nicer than London.
Indeed. Though I find the smell of London is too familiar to be offensive at this point. I grew up there, you know.
I understand.
Whenever business calls me back, it is welcome, even in the parts of it that I detest.
Are you quite all right?
Do I seem otherwise?
A wee bit, aye.
I believe so. I had no illusions when I entered these circles that all would be simple. Yet I find motives and agendas in place I had no reason to think them. And perhaps we should take a walk and speak of this.
I'll never say no to a good chance to stretch my legs.
Or I shall send you a letter on the morrow and we shall enjoy supper at some point. If you can lower yourself to my abode.
Now listen to you.
But truly, it would be a pleasure to speak openly.
I look forward to your writings.
So, Colonel.
Yes.
You do see your good friend, the Major Masters, riding up to you, looking a bit more put together than usual, probably because he doesn't feel any pressure with this many other suitors around. And he gives you a wave as he approaches. Colonel!
Wave to him and turn back to John. Excuse me. Seems like duty calls. And between the two of us, I think we found someone even more at social 6s and 7s than you.
Away then.
He does look a little awkward walking around.
Major Masters, what can I do for you?
You can help me figure something out while you're... That Mr. Fielding, yes?
Aye.
A pleasure.
No, he's not. No,
Sorry. Okay.
I thought he walked towards the Major. Sorry.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. Is that Mr. Fielding, yes?
Hi.
Hi. Just trying to figure something out. How well do you know the Beauforts?
Relatively. I've been their guest before.
Maybe you can pass this along to... For the love of God. There's his name. Maybe you could pass this along. Are you good friends with the Earl? William.
We know one another. Good friends might be a stretch.
Oh. I'm not sure. How do I put this? I heard a lot of things about Mrs. Fielding in a very short amount of time. Especially just here in the past few weeks and at this ball. I was surprised to see him on the dance floor.
Aye.
Yeah, I just don't... They think he's overreaching. Like, he just got so ambitious he aimed for a life of high society just to get his name up. And everyone's been talking about it.
Those of us who must make our way in the world selling our commissions probably would do well not to spread around such rumors.
I'm just saying it to you, so you could possibly bring it up to the head of the household. It doesn't look good. I'm getting this information from a good friend of Eloise's, apparently. Listen, you're friends with the sisters. I know this. I want to make sure that your friends don't get stuck on some nasty thing very shortly. Because I want what's best for you, and you want what's best for your friends, so I'm letting you know. I don't like talking about this kind of thing.
As well, you should not. I appreciate the warning. I will pass it on as I think it will do best.
Oh, I gotta go talk to her right now. Is their aunt really selling all those dogs? They're adorable.
No.
Oh, someone should let her know. I think one of the earls over there was talking about it. He loves dogs. He'd take them in a heartbeat.
I rather think no one's parting Lady Caroline from her dogs except over her dead body.
Oh, she's gonna outlive all of us, but
Oh, aye.
nods to you. Something to keep in mind. Sorry, Thomas. And he'll head off. So, what's everyone else doing?
I'd like to spend a resolve token
Mm-hmm.
to. I know now where my unofficial nemesis is. And as I try to get a look and see who he's talking to, I recognize my business partner, James.
All right.
So I'm going to spend one of James's tokens to have him here.
Okay. Everyone's having fun. The guests are happy. No overt drama, but there has been drama, and I'm pretty sure there's been a few engagements around the other areas. Who the hell knows? But in the meantime, one Mr. John Fielding sees his business partner, James, last name unknown. I didn't ask. Talking to you see James talking to Richard Fosley. They've gone off to one of the larger gardens off to the side. They're just sitting at a table, just sipping on something.
I'm gonna go talk to him.
Yeah. And James, he's probably a tiny bit older than a tiny bit younger than you, if anything. Still fresh faced, smiling, and just looks up at you like, "Oh, John! Oh, you're finally here. Sit down. I have excellent news." And Fielding just tips his glass to you and smiles.
James, I'm so glad you two actually managed to meet and have a discussion. I understand that there's indeed much to be discussed. A lovely event, Mr. Fosley. Lord Fosley, forgive me.
Just call me Richard, it's fine. I dare say the days where we have to attach law to everything will matter very little, and it'll be young entrepreneurs like yourselves that make everything matter.
Indeed. An interesting dream, by all means. Elucidate.
Well, here's the thing. The old money, it's quite literally old, and it's slowly dying over time. We're reached too far, we're losing too many things, and now we have to expand into far distant places to get anywhere. Which, families like the Grahams and the Pluckett family in Redwich, nods over to where Redwich is, have done in spades, and it's all paying off immensely. And that's where power is going to come from. That's where you don't need to be a lord. You just need to be a man with land, money, influence, even more. But it's not given to you by anything. You purchased it, you worked it, and it's yours now, and they can't do anything about it. And when I see the two of you, he points at both of you, I see ambition. I see pride in your work. And I want to make sure that happens.
An interesting proposal, to be sure. Have you two been talking details?
Yes, James is he has put money towards several of the lands I was looking to purchase to build warehouses in. There's a dock over in Liverpool, and Fosley nods, that we are going to purchase to make it easy to ship things over the channel. And he looks really excited. We've already signed several documents. I have land deeds back at my house that I'm going to be putting in a safe, of course. I have a secretary.
As well you should. I'm I'm always pleased to see a friend succeed. And Lord Fawsley, Richard, the aid of one in your position is undeniably valuable. Forgive me a moment of cynicism, but beyond the expansion of industry as a whole, what do you seek in return?
Mr. Fielding, look where you're sitting. What more do I need? I'm not doing... It's just self-serving. Of course it is. The joy of watching other people succeed is something I'm going to revel in. Of course I am. I'm not going to deny that. But I'm not putting my name all over his properties. I'm not going to hold my money over his head. I want him to succeed.
And nor would I assume you would. You seem a man of grace and care. Above such tactics. Purely altruism, then.
Yes. It's the same thing I was offering to you. You have vision. I want you to see it through. And that's why he kind of gestures apologetically. I was mentioning the Beaufort family. They're very close. Well, we were very close to the Beauforts for a long time. Odd times, who knows? But I want to see you put your vision through, and I don't want you weighed down by anything.
And
it was out of concern.
And it is your impression that the Beaufort family is less likely to motivate me in the positive directions.
I will give you an example. This flower ball, they ran it every year until I was maybe 15. They've run it twice since. It was a point of pride for them. But now, suddenly, they want everyone else to share that pride. There have been smatterings of a few other things, but...
Indeed.
Whatever you... I want to see you succeed, John. He finally says, John, I look at your friend, I want to see you succeed. I said, there are very few young individuals with as much ability and foresight, and right now the ability to make the influences you can.
I concede some points, certainly. We are now, I believe, in a moment when the classical elements of old money begin to slip, and some of us are positioned to join that society and perhaps change certain elements of it. I do not yet concede that the Beauforts would be a disadvantage to me, though you have given me a great deal to think about. And should you wish to discuss business proper, I should be honored to host you in my offices.
That sounds wonderful, but did you sit down, OT?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he looks over. James, will you excuse us for a moment? Just real quick. Actually, yeah, here, I'll refresh our cups. He'll excitedly go off. He does look back, kind of confused because he's not an idiot. He's a smart individual, but a lot of that has just gone a little bit over his head because he just wasn't privy to that first part.
Mhm.
Yeah, but then Fozzie will look at you, and the smile he was wearing is gone. Why are you intent on marrying her?
She is a woman of tremendous ability.
John, I have known the both of us for a long time. I don't know Eloise as well as I would like, but in the brief moments that we've had together since we were children, I know her fairly well. Well enough, that is. She can't stand the idea.
What idea?
Get it? Of marrying you, John.
And?
You're a good man, John. And he'll set up, straighten up his coat.
Also stands up.
I honestly believe that the good man that you are can't stand the idea of doing this to her. I'm not too fond of it either. Woman of good standing and ability. He slowly gestures to the ball. There are not many women like Eloise, but I guarantee you, if you looked hot enough, you'd find another one. Enjoy the rest of the party. And yes, I'd be glad to meet you in your offices.
Good day, sir.
Good day, Mr. Field. Gives you a nod and will...
I would actually like to use my monologue token to get an idea of how Mr. Fielding is feeling after having that discussion with his new friend.
Y'all ready for a look under the hood?
Hell, it's smoking right now, so probably should. I don't think it's an oil change, man.
When one imagines a pit of vipers, one assumes enemies one can fight. Yet here I find myself, not sure what's a viper and a rope to climb out. This man seems variable. A bastard, perhaps. Just as possibly an ally to accomplish necessary goals. He says that Eloise is unhappy. Unfortunate, it is sure. But he's also not wrong about their fortunes. Should their fortunes truly be in as dire straits as evidence begins to suggest, then a marriage is likely to continue. I shall have to keep my eye on that other, the teacher. Allow him around that he might brighten her day, but never leave them alone. I'm lucky to have the Colonel, at least, as a trusted friend. But I do not like it here. As much as I enjoy the pleasant company, the delightful food, there are more angles in these people than in many of my dealings in business. A cutthroat industry, people say. Well, if I have to cut a throat or two and to happiness, in order to achieve that my children, my children's children, might never face the things that I did, so be it. For in the grand mathematics of God's green earth, what can be said to be the value of a little suffering versus the good it might create? He's not wrong. Eloise is a singular woman. And that she be unhappy with me is a shame. But if that is how it must be, then that is how it must be. I shall not waver from my course. So be it. And then I go get a drink.
Is that the end of your monologue?
That's the end of my monologue.
Well said. As you go get a drink, as you're like rounding the corner, you see Daniel just like a few feet away. Hat still on, just like stroking the beard, as if he's contemplating something. Notices you. Ah, Mr. Fielding. Enjoying the ball?
Always. These events are nice.
Glad
The
to
decorations
hear
and the food, yes. How are you,
it.
sir?
Sorry. Oh, well, after dealing with an angry governess that thought I'd misled her, I'm still getting used to being back among this. He like gestures to the high society around the two of you. I've come a
Indeed.
long way, but still unusual.
Indeed. Do you have much experience in events such as this?
Oh, well, scrolling. The Earl, he found me in London when I was very young and appreciated my skill in various languages. Took me away from my father, who... The Beauforts were very good to me. They allowed me to live away and travel to the manor to give tutoring lessons. Both the girls are very, very sharp. Learned very quickly, even if they tried to pretend they didn't, so the lessons would take longer. But
Why on earth
I
would they
never
do that?
Well, I mean, both of them are little tricksters, if anything. They do love to play around. But they were good girls. Still are.
Indeed. I found Catherine to be the more lively in my own time amongst them.
Well,
But Eloise, you have done some excellent work there, sir. She is a singular woman, truly accomplished.
well,
I'm
everything that
lucky
she
to have
has,
her
she
as my
gained.
fiancée.
Everything she has, she gained herself. I was just lucky enough to guide her way.
Indeed. A great fortune, to be sure.
But please, don't let me stop you. I interrupted you, wherever you were going.
Not at all. I was simply going for a drink. I would love to know more about your knowing of them, your relationship, your time with the family. I have not been part of their lives nearly so long, and have surely missed out on many interesting stories.
Well, I mean, with their permission, of course, I wouldn't begin to explain stories of their childhood without their
Certainly, within acceptable bounds, but you will join me for a drink. I shall not hear no.
You may have to, when he's like looking over your shoulder as Edith is being dragged along with stubbornness towards the actual main house. I think she found her.
Excellent.
I'm going
Business
to
concluded then.
Well, I'm going to massage any wound. I will join you as soon as I can. Forgive me. Nods and
Very well.
scurries off. He doesn't scurry off towards them.
Towards Edith?
Yeah, if anything, it's like towards Edith for a while and then kind of banks a right, like off in the distance, but you don't see where he's going. Okay. So, do two more things. Let's think first. Colonel,
Yes.
where are you at, dude? Where are you hanging out?
Well, my friend said we should go for a walk. Then, things got a little convoluted. But I decided to stick with the idea to go for a walk and get away from the drama. So he has crested a hill and is enjoying the view of the countryside.
Hilt swaying in the breeze. Yep.
Right.
Indeed. It would be at that time. It's like, there you are, and you hear the voice of. Well, actually, did Catherine or Eloise want to say something?
I was gonna play a monologue token against the good Colonel. Now that he has a moment to reflect.
Okay, I'll wait. Go ahead.
Okay. And so, like a couple of hills down, there's the standard country estate. This great block of stone and glass. He's got his hands clasped behind his back, and I'd choose to live in a place like this. Just surrounded by people who are always trying to claw you down. At least on the battlefield, you can generally tell who's out to get you. They're the ones with weapons pointed in your general direction. Lord, I want to go home. That's strange to say. Wasn't always thus, was it? Now everyone's so excited to see me. It's always that joke, isn't it? The heir and the spare. No one thinks about the spare till the heir gets run over by an angry boar. I should go back soon. This time next year it'll be, your grace this and your grace that. No one will call me Colonel anymore. And certainly no one will make any wry comments about the dangers of looking happy. She could be so much more than this. So much more than his. He's a decent enough man, but she's not a piece of cloth to be cut to shape. Alright. Enough of your wee wailing, Tommy boy. You have a duty to perform. So best get about it. End monologue as he turns back towards the party.
Excellent. On top of one of the rolling hills that he went down, like where the party is, you do in fact see, surrounded by Bailey, Bonnie, Bess, Bryn, Blair, Bella, Brutus, Baron, Bernard, Bo, Bentley, Bootsy, and Zarius, Aunt Carolyn. who also decided to take a stroll, finally seeing her dogs after probably not seeing them for a few hours, fanning herself, and she's looking down at the through the rolling green at you. And even from this distance, you see, with the sunlight, just a dazzling smile as she's looking down at you, fanning herself, like just waiting for you to come back.
Lady Caroline says with a nod of his head, "I do hope I didn't give any offense earlier. I had heard stories and gave them more credence than I should have."
No. Whatever offense you may have let me rephrase that entirely. Whatever offense may have happened was quickly forgotten by you, dancing with one of my nieces as you did.
Your niece is as graceful as she is lovely.
Which one, Colonel? And she gives you a pointed look.
I believe that could be said truly of both of them, my lady.
Aye, all right. But which one do you have your eye? Which one do you intend?
That's a rather forward question.
You're being rather forward with both of them, aren't you?
Usually that's reserved for me.
Well, I'm away from the party and I'm surrounded by a group of dogs covering me in fur. I'm not feeling too ladylike at the moment, and I rather don't care.
Lady Caroline, I will with deepest regret beg your pardon, but I could not possibly answer that question without speaking to their parents first, no could I?
She kind of snaps the fan closed and she gives you like a stern look. I'm the reason that as many people as looking at them as there are now. Their parents have nothing to do with it. Their parents whittled away most of the fortune and so many different things. And I'm being forward with you and frank with you because I believe you'll be frank with me in return. I want them to be happy, and I want them away from that accursed abbey.
I see. Well, again, I do not believe I could answer your question directly before speaking to their parents, as a matter of propriety's sake. But, in the spirit of frankness in which you have addressed me, I will share something with you, pleading that you keep it in your confidence.
Of course.
I am obliged, before the season begins in the summer, to send word of my engagement back home. My older brother Douglas, who is the heir to Argyll, was gravely injured, took ill from his injuries, and will be unable to fulfill the duties that were assigned to him at birth. And so my father, the Duke of Argyll, will be coming down to inform His Majesty at the change of the season that there shall be a new heir to the dukedom. So you may at least rest your heart on this. If it is a Lady Beaufort who walks down the aisle to take my hand, they shall want for nothing all their days.
The look goes away. And it is like a full-on like scan of like your soul, essentially. And you notice something for the first time because you're just kind of transfixed on her face and how just like serious she's being about all of this. When you look around, the dogs have fully surrounded you and probably like not a tight formation, but like Mom said keep him here without words, and they're doing that. And you kind of realize the intense stare is not just coming from her, but from all 13 of the dogs with Zarius in front of you.
He will take a look around at the ring and say, "Now, may I be excused from this encirclement?"
All I'm going to say is thank you for telling me your intentions. For, depending on your answer, I was either going to remove you from their eye line, or do everything I can to help you get to where you want to be.
I have a question, though.
Yes.
It would be grossly inappropriate of me to answer your question in a particular direction, given that one of your nieces is already pledged to another man. That engagement seems to be under a bit of duress, though.
Welcome to high society, dear. She'll snap the fan open, start fanning herself. Would you guide me back? Smiling again.
It would be my honor. Right, fall in!
And not into, in fact, fall into a wonderful triangle formation around you with Zarius in front of the two of you. And as you re-enter the party, the ladies Beaufort? Where are you?
Well, Eloise ended up by herself at the end of that dance.
Yay, you kind of diggity dipped.
Kind of just stranded with nobody to, like, cling on to. So I imagine that she just sort of, like, stepped off to the side and did her best to play wallflower so that nobody would notice.
You could spend a resolve token if you have one.
I have resolve tokens, but I don't know what I would spend them on.
Okay. Alright.
So I think given the situation, she's mostly just trying to avoid being noticed by the wider crowd that she was just sort of like... She went onto the dance floor with one man. Halfway through the dance, another man stepped in, and then he just bailed on her. And that's, you know, kind of mortifying, really confusing, because the Colonel seemed to be having a great time. So, and then he was just gone.
Yeah.
I don't know where Catherine is, though.
She is, she actually...
Right behind you.
Right behind you. It's like that one scene from The Office. She's...
The call's coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
Rack zoom.
Sister?
Oh, Catherine, hello.
You look positively frightened or bored, or both?
It's hot and uncomfortable.
Shall we maybe take a walk through the rose garden, get a little bit of shade?
Of course.
She will offer up an arm for Ellie to grab onto.
Ellie will link arms with her.
How are you? Once they get far enough away from the party where she assumes there's no prying eyes, are you feeling all right?
Entirely sure that holding a party like this outside during the day was such a good idea.
Not what I meant. You look like you have much on your mind. And I'm your sister. You can trust me.
Darling, if I came to you every time I had much up, we would never stop talking. Ever.
And is that a bad thing?
Well, at some point we do have to sleep and eat and attend to other things.
Maybe so, but while we're awake, you and I are... Well, I love Mother and Father, but sometimes I feel like it's just us.
Well... They're caught up in the family troubles. Best not to become another reason for them to worry.
I am aware of everything that's been going on. It's still sad. You know, after everything had happened and Mum and Dad are off a lot, I don't get to see much of anybody anymore. You're getting ready to get married, and they don't pay much attention. So I always make it a deal to spend time with you whenever I can. And after all, once you're married, I won't get to see much of you either.
Yes, I'm afraid that is the nature of things, isn't it? And I'll most likely, if my future husband has anything to say about it, be spending every waking moment in London.
Yeah. But London is so dread and dreary.
Yes, well, it is where he lives and works, and likely where my life will be focused. You will have to enjoy all of the gardens and the parties here for me. And write to me often. Tell me how they go.
Of course. Ellie, can I ask you something? And I apologize if it comes off a bit brash, bold.
What?
Are you happy?
Oh, that is, I am happy to be doing...
Sorry. My mic was off. I would like to spend my monologue token on Eloise.
Oh, you dick. Okay.
But you think you're going to just pretend to answer that question? No. Get real.
We don't do that around here. What do you mean?
I've spent so long under the weight of expectation. Even before our brother died, it was on me to make a good match. To further strengthen the family position. Bring in a bit more financial support and shore up the faulty foundations for the family. Not sure I know what happy feels like anymore. I am searching for something close to contentment. A way to be at peace with my lot, and a way to ensure that Catherine, always so willful and lively and seemingly incapable of settling down, is able to find a match that makes her happy. And if what it takes to get that for her is to marry a man I don't love, shore up the family fortunes, and wear a smile while I do it, then so be it. I'm under no illusions. Pairing with Mr. Fielding, even if he is too much a gentleman to say so, would benefit him as much as it would benefit my family. So I will do what I have been trained to do since I was a little girl, and I will be the ideal lady, the perfect wife, perfect mother. And if I can help it, they'll never see me falter, no matter how much it weighs. And monologue.
Well,
I believe that I have anything any woman could hope for in a good life.
that doesn't answer my question, Ellie. Listen. I know what people say about me. But if there's one thing that I am, it's insightful to those that I love and those that I care about. I want you to know that I know that ever since Brother passed away, you had to bear the burden of a lot. You are a good woman. And I just hope that whatever it is that this life brings you, it brings you the happiness that you deserve. You have always been a wonderful sister. And I don't think that I tell you that often enough.
Thank you.
Do you really want to marry him? Your silence is an answer enough, actually.
I am happy to do what I have agreed to do.
If that ever changes, you aren't the only one who has to marry for fortune, you know?
I am.
No, you're not.
Catherine,
Auntie had pulled me in a few months back. She says that if I can court the gentleman that she thinks is best suited for me, she has an inheritance, one that she is locked away. I can bring the money back to our family. If it means seeing you happy. You've given up far too much in your life. I don't wish to see you have to give up your happiness.
So, at this point, you would hear the pitter-patter of frantic feet. And Catherine, you do see Jasper kind of hurting a large part of the party to get over to you. He kind of stopped, and you can tell he's been moving at speed for quite some time. Oh, okay, there you are. I have interesting news for you if you'd like to hear it.
Oh.
I'm tired.
Eloise, I am sure that you remember my dear friend, Baron Jasper. As of
Don't call
recent
me that
days.
yet. Oh, I'll get shivers.
Very well. Then I shall call to you again, Baron Jasper.
Ooh, oh boy. So, he just like leans a little, like, he doesn't break the distance, but he's like, I overheard your aunt and the Colonel talking.
I will leave the two of you to it. Baron. And she will curtsy very politely.
It's a matter of your importance too.
And she's gone. She's already walked away.
No, don't.
She's smart enough to know that they are friends and that this is probably going to be gossipy time, and she tries very hard not to be present for things like that.
What did you hear? And we better make this quick. I don't want people. I'm trying to be better.
No, yes, it'll be very, very quick. I think I didn't hear it very well because there was a group of older gentlemen laughing over some hunting incident. I'm not quite sure, but I believe the Colonel tends to speak to your parents about, well, one of you.
Oh. And she instantly looks back to Eloise. And then looks back. Very well. That is wonderful news to hear. The Colonel is a very good man. I am sure whoever he intends to court will be a very lucky lady.
Intends to court? Your sisters get engaged.
I am aware of that, Jasper.
I thought you'd be happy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It is okay.
Well, no, I'm not going to be sorry. You need to have more confidence in yourself. Honestly. She's engaged, and I've always thought she was really nice, but you're amazing, and I know he sees that.
He, I'm far too young for a man like him.
No, enough.
I'm only...
Catherine, you need to have faith in yourself. Enough of this putting yourself down. I won't have it anymore. It's you. Who else would he court? It doesn't make sense to court your sister. That's beyond taboo. That would just put his standing in the most ridiculous position. That would ruin so much for him, if it even suggested about such a thing.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
You're my friend, yes?
Of course I'm your friend. And you are my dearest and most sincere friend.
Then forgive me for being too direct. Catherine, have faith in yourself. I have enough for both of us, but now I'm giving that faith to you. I truly hope one day you can see the person I think you are. Who your sister thinks you are, and who you knows you're going to be. Yes?
May I be honest with you for one moment?
Always.
I keep failing every turn that I make. And for once, I wish I could just... I wish I could be happy. I've made the decision that if it brings my sister joy and gives her the freedom that she deserves, to finally settle down and just be a lady and do what I'm supposed to do.
I would like to spend a resolve token.
Mm-hmm.
I would like Jasper to be so moved by this moment and the pain on his friend's face that he hugs her.
Is that okay with you, Lucas?
Yeah?
Yeah. You see, he shakes all the time. But for the first time in a long while, you see him just like feel his resolve, and he stops shaking. And he just goes in and gives you a deep hug. Yeah.
At that point, Catherine loses it.
Yep. And being as aware as he is as a person, he will make sure to steer you into just out of view before anyone notices. But he lets you try as long as you need to.
What am I going to do, Jasper?
You're going to be strong. And I'm going to be here every step of the way. You understand? I'm not going to do anything to you that you don't want, not while I'm around. Just got this damn title, but heaven if I don't use it for something about this.
You're a good man. You're gonna make somebody very happy someday. And I just hope that whoever that is knows how to stop making you shake.
Oh. He looks at his hands and notices. Right.
I need to calm down. I don't need anybody see me in such a state.
He pulls out a handkerchief. I think if we go around the long way, we could probably get into one of my family's carriages without anyone noticing and take you home if you'd like.
I don't think I should leave. Not yet. I don't want anybody to worry.
You're right.
You are such a wonderful person. Thank you for being such a good friend to me. It might be best if we separate when we go back to the party eventually. I don't want there to be a scene. And I don't want there to be... Well, quite frankly, I don't need the speculation.
Oh, yeah.
Not that,
Really?
not that... Listen. I just need to try my hardest to prove that I'm not a complete and total failure. Nobody likes a woman with too much ambition.
They cannot go to hell. I love your ambition. I kiss you.
What?
Overthinker spent their resolve token to see if Jasper could kiss you. Are you okay with that?
Oh no, I spent a resolve token to enter the scene.
Uh-oh.
Although I definitely think that other thing should happen too.
Yeah, I mean, I misread that entirely because I thought you meant to kiss. To happen on this scene. Okay, never mind. I misread that entirely. It is up to you. Because it would take a token to make that happen, only if Legacy is okay with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Is that cool with you?
Yeah.
Then yes. May I kiss you?
Jasper, that's...
No, you're right.
No,
No, that's
and
the wrong way to do this.
And she is going to look around and see if anybody is like watching.
Lady Catherine?
Hello, Mr.
Wait, what? You want this to happen, don't you? What are you doing?
I thought I just entered this scene now.
Wait, no, I meant the kiss or you happening on the scene? What happened?
I don't know.
Yes, all of it, apparently.
Okay, cool. Then, all right.
I'm currently approaching.
Cool. All right. So, Legacy, continue.
Mr. Fielding, how do I, and she dusts herself off and just wipes the couple of the tears off of her face. Mr. Fielding, this is a dear childhood friend of mine, Baron Jasper, Goodman. Baron Jasper Goodman.
Charmed, Mr. Goodman.
A pleasure to meet you as well. He's shaking again.
Forgive the interruption. I was... I'm not sure what I was doing.
Oh, where
Please,
is...
excuse me,
What? Is everything alright, Mr. Fielding?
Certainly. Certainly, all is well.
Wonderful. If... Yes?
I'm going to head back in a moment.
Okay.
Are you...
Sorry, my apologies. A bee stung me. Those,
How dreadful.
Yes. Unfortunately, the stinger, often makes, tears fall out of my eyes. I promise I am alright though. Mr. Baron, Jasper was just giving me a handkerchief so I could wipe the tears away and clean up the little bump.
Certainly not necessary.
You hear him kind of like audibly like gulp, which I'm not going to do over the mic. And Catherine, you feel him like feel himself again and the shaking stops. I just wanted to help her. She was in pain for a bit and
Yes.
wanted to make sure I was away from prying eyes. I'll make sure she's okay, Mr. Fielding.
He's gonna look at Catherine and give her like a, is this good?
She'll shake her head. You have nothing to worry about, Mr. Fielding. Jasper, Baron Jasper and I have been friends since we were small.
Certainly.
He has nothing but the purest of intentions. I am just a delicate flower.
Should you wish an escort, I believe I shall walk the perimeter of the rose garden. Be back this way in a few minutes.
Thank you. Mr. Fielding, it is greatly appreciated.
Looks between the two of them again, just clocking so much. And walks away.
The moment that he turns, the moment that he's like far enough away, she lets out just an audible sigh.
I'm not shaking.
You're not shaking. You're doing so well.
Yes, well, much bigger than me, and yes. Here's what I'm going to say right now. And he turns to you, and he has that same look of resolve. I will be back in Redwich, in about a week, or maybe 2. And I will visit you and your parents. And I will speak to your father and mother, clearly. If you see him puff out his head, about my intentions. Because, I would like to court you if possible. Not that I'm not doing that already, but I'd like to do that in a much more formal fashion, because this is quite inappropriate, and we just actually were caught just now. Goodness.
I think that would be lovely. But you're gonna have to speak to my aunt as well. And the dogs.
God. The dogs?
And the dogs. The dogs have to approve. I love my family very much, but if the dogs don't approve, then I simply cannot do it.
Well, they like me, but Brutus keeps eating my shoes.
Then you know that you're already a part of the family, therefore you shouldn't have a problem with my aunt.
That's what we'll do.
And she offers him a hand.
You will kiss it?
Unfortunately, that's as much as we can do for now. But
I already got a hug in today, I'll take it.
Wonderful.
Well, I'll, he starts shaking again. A little red in the face.
You really are like the greyhounds, aren't you?
Well, goodness, you're beautiful. I'm going to go now. And he, Lady Beaufort, and he like stiffly walks away.
Baron Jasper. It's always a pleasure.
Indeed. Like, if no one thought there was anything suspicious going on over there, the way he like exits around the corner. Thankfully, there's like a different route you can take, but like,
yeah.
That
and
poor boy.
She'll wait for Mr. John to come and pick her up from the rose garden.
Yep. Here comes Mr. Fielding.
Miss Catherine.
Miss Fielding.
I trust you are feeling better after your bee sting.
Yes. It is rather unfortunate. Bees out this time of year.
But at least the three of us were able to enjoy a lengthy conversation about music. Right?
music, and art,
Indeed.
poetry. Mr. Fielding.
I apologize for waxing extensively about an Antoine Vivaldi, but I do enjoy his work.
Oh, his works are mighty fine. Shall we make our way back to the party?
I believe we shall. And he offers an arm.
She'll take it.
All right. As you make your way back to the party, it is gently winding down. Before we wrap up, Colonel, you did guide the good lady Carolyn back to the party, and had just pleasant conversation. She does seem to actually enjoy your company. It was more just like the very much protective wolf over her cubs. Like, what do you want with them? But she does actually seem to enjoy your company. And as you're like circling around one of the gardens, you do see Eloise by herself. And also seeing that, the good lady Carolyn is like, "Oh, I think the dogs made me," and just gives you like a squeeze on your arm before just slipping away into the crowd with a practice movement. She's probably done that way too many times.
The Colonel freezes as though he has become part of the garden statuary.
It's a mighty nice statue right there. What do you do?
Apologize. My headset cut out. What's happening?
Oh, Lady Carolyn and the Colonel are officially back in the party, and as they're walking, they notice you exiting one of the gardens. And Lady Carolyn like squeezes his arm and just like dips away from the area to go to a different part of the party.
And just leaves us there? Cool. Great.
Yeah, he's good at
Please
this.
tell me that we are close enough to the party to not be considered unchaperoned.
Oh no, there's like other people in this like little like enclosure area where there's a couple seating areas and stuff like that. There are people talking, so if you want to talk, it won't be like, "Oh God, what's happening there?" So you can just talk to them if you choose.
Okay.
You can just dip. It's up to you.
If my aunt just walks off and he looks super uncomfortable, Eloise will dip him a very low and graceful curtsy. It seems there was a bit of a mix-up during the steps earlier. I apologize for losing you.
The Colonel bows. The fault is mine. And you are a dear thing to be lost indeed. My deepest apologies.
She's blushing. And kind of like half hiding her face behind her hand, because what do you say to that? I do hope my aunt didn't make you too uncomfortable. She can be forward.
My ankle shall survive the encounter. A bit worse for wear, but nothing. No worse than the Frenchman ever did.
Good.
My lady, may I be permitted, takes a deep breath, to escort you back to your fiancé?
Of course. Thank you.
And he will offer his arm and walk her back to John.
So, it's an interesting sight as the party starts to wind down. Just on one side of the garden, and across the ball, you just see Catherine and John exiting one garden, and like looking across, you see exiting the garden on the other side, Eloise and Thomas, and you're all four of you are looking across this ball at each other as the camera pans out. And as the sun slowly surely sets over Foxford Cross, and the end of what was a beautiful flower ball, we're going to end this episode of The Good Society here.